Hey. Good to see you guys. Alright, so we had to miss the last stream because I had some pressing stuff to take care of this weekend, and I need to dedicate Friday to family time as a result. But I did manage to play a little bit in between the last stream and now. So we've accomplished some big things. As you can see from my character, I now have the Deepwater Harpoon. And outside of my Scarab BP, the rest of my visible armor is all Bloodforged. And now we are on a mission deep into Kerns. It is pretty sketch though. Trying to get through here. I want to get to the Undead Jester spawn point. I don't have a way to invis myself. I did not bring any invisibility potions. And we've got a lot of Brain Eye in the way. So my strategy up till now to get to this point has been to lull the Brain Eye and then run past them. Well, I'm glad to see that you can actually get back to watching live, Gypsy. By the way, it's nice to see you again. So yeah, right now we have IVU up. I camped with it up at the staircase, but like, oh, there we go. Like that could have been aggro right there. So it's a rough one right here. We're in a rough position. Obviously the high point here is the Bloodforged Helm for gear that we got over the break. It took me about 20 attempts, and I completely mapped out the spawn for the ogres on TLP servers. So if you ever need to know how to do the Bloodforged armor quest, maybe when we're not in like a kind of high pressure situation, I'll be able to go over it. It's really simple. I know everyone thinks that Zarchumi is like a rare spawn. She's actually like a 9-second respawn. And I guarantee you that within, no joke, like 3 minutes, you can have a Zarchumi spawn 100% of the time, as long as you have tracking available to you. As for Corflunk, he's like a 10-minute. Actually, he's about 11 minutes. It's like 10 minutes and 50-something seconds. You'll get Corflunk or his PH. Oof, Slazik, I think after your suggestion, it would have been another 4 or 5 shots. All right, so we're gonna see if we can get this Brain Eye to path away. Then we'll lull the excavator, redo our IVU, and go for it. Now, of course, a crit fail lull. We pretty much just have to run, I think. It's gonna be a rough exit strategy. Hey Rick, how's it going, dude? See, this is what we don't want. There's a room right here, and then at any moment the person in there could just like path out. Let's see, he's going back here. I'm good, man, I'm good. Testing out this new time slot, we'll see how it goes. Yeah, this is very sketch. Okay. Fingers crossed. Alright, he's less aggressive. Is he in range? He is. Less aggressive. IVU. Up. I'm not 100% positive I can get past this guy. Yeah, she let me switch it up. My work schedule shifted, so I had to move it. I think she might prefer that I do it in the morning, but we'd have like 2 viewers, so. This guy's gonna path out soon too. Yeah, I need to get going. All right, this is my spot. Okay, we got aggro, but we might be okay. So the big problem we're gonna have to deal with this guy here is that he has Spirit of Wolf and he's gonna run. It's gonna be a big problem. What's the time on this? 15 minutes. I do not want to off-tank this guy for 15 minutes. I do not have any Pumas on me. Can I memorize a stun? I have Ward Undead, foolishly memmed. See if we can't time a mem to put a stun up. We get direct damage, assist. Close. Okay, I think we can get a stun on. Wait for the swing. Alright. Alright, we got stun up. So he's getting healed through the walls. That's another problem here. Oh, that's bad. Yeah, we need that excavator to go, pretty much just go away. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stop attacking him, and that excavator might leave because he won't have any reason to stay here and heal a guy who's not losing health. Mobs that are not in combat will have infinite mana because they're gonna regenerate it faster than they can spend it. So since he's just healing without aggro, he will not run out of mana. But he should path back to the... Oh, that's bad. We are in a very sketchy situation here, folks. See our exit strategy here. Go up those stairs. Is this guy still sitting here? He's gone. Okay. All right, here's actually, this is our chance. This is our chance. The Barainai excavator is social with this thick-skulled skeleton. He shouldn't run if the skeleton is here, which means we could just kill him straight up. The skeleton is undead, so he just won't run regardless. This actually might have saved us. We just gotta stay cool. Everything should be good. Here's a moment of truth. Is he gonna run on the next hit? Healer's not back yet. That's good. Okay. Come on, and there's the kill. Okay. I don't need these. I'll take this. Leave. Oh, boys. All right, we got this healer here, so we pretty much have to let him path away again. But we're all good now. This was a great success. I don't think the thick-skulled skeleton will kill me while we do this. Since we're waiting, though, and just off-tanking this dude, let's throw our shield and hammer on. Get that little AC bonus. Now we just need this guy to path away. Alright, now I gotta kill this guy before he gets back. I feel like we're on like the EQ equivalent of like a fucking Delta Force mission right now. Yeah, Liver, you don't even need to sub for it. Happy to just give you the lore of Kerns. Just give me a moment to get out of this situation, and I will deliver. No, the excavator's back. We just have to out DPS the heals now if we can. He's gonna heal them all the way back up. Shit, dude, I don't know if we can. We might have to kill the excavator while we fight this. Oh, we are super boned. This guy over here is casting Dark Empathy. Means he's gonna snare me if we get in combat. There's a chance he'll path through. We're really gambling here, but I'm gonna go ahead and lull this guy. Alright, he's lulled. I have my Undead Nuke, but it does 12 damage, which is basically going to be irrelevant to this. This is bad. Okay, they're both gone. Let's get it. See what we can do. We just need some better rolls on DPS. Maybe a Bane Strike, a well-timed Bane Strike. Liver, I didn't see the alert, but I do see the sub badge, so regardless, thank you so much for the sub. I believe you're on a streak, right? Like a 2-month streak? Yeah, my 2-hand slash isn't maxed out, so... Come on, we're right there. We need our healer buddy to not show up. Uh-oh, here he is. Come on, one more hit. One more hit. Man. Can't wear him. I'll take him though. I'll take this. I think this is part of one of the quests in here that we could potentially do. Oh man, this was so sketchy. Okay, so Liver, the quick and dirty on Kern's Tower, right? Kern's Tower, obviously right next to the Field of Bone. This was the primary headquarters for Kern Makta, who was a experimenter of the Ixar. He's actually notable. I think he killed the master of the Klai. The Klai are the Sarnak, who are in Downir. So they came here, and because... Oh, that's really super bad. Yeah, we're just gonna hard cast this right here. Cool. I almost feel like we should just Origin out of here, man. Level 16. Could be a tough one. So... Yeah, so let's touch on the Downir piece. The guy who is currently the leader, you know, way back in the day was the leader of Downir, was doing experiments and stuff in the Crypt of Downir. He was dabbling in magic that we would associate with enchanters. This is frowned upon in Ixar society. They only let you practice necromancy or shamanism. So anyway, they go to Kern's Tower for a reason. I can't remember exactly why. It might have been something super vapid, like he wanted a magical dagger. So anyway, they go there. And the guy from the Crypt of Downir had a bunch of Sarnak who were like slaves of his, including his assistant who was a Sarnak. And they, by observing him, learned his magic. That guy becomes the Klai Overseer, who is like the kind of boss of Crypt of Downir. So anyway, Kern realizes that the guy from Crypt of Downir is practicing magic that is banned. He's pretty much a heretic, and he has him killed. And then he sends the slaves back to Downir with some Crusaders of Green Mist guarding them. They overwhelm the Crusaders. I think this actually might be the PH I need to kill. This is bad. There's a healer in this room. Super lame. They overwhelm the Crusaders of Green Mist and escape. They go on to establish the whole Crypto Downir thing. For his efforts, I think Kern Makta is killed by an escaped slave. Like, basically, one of the guys who was imprisoned down here and being tortured, like all the rest, tunnels through. He breaks through his cell and connects to a tunnel, which is where all the Burning Eye come from. They came up through that, and they invade the tower and they kill Kern. And we could still find that hole in one of the cells here if we search around. Francis Alexander and Arithmos, thank you for the follows. Yeah, man, that was sketch. Super sketch. This guy's level 16. I think I could kill him. I don't want to deal with the healers healing through the wall right here next to us. We're gonna give it a go though. Oh wait, he's gonna run too. That's the problem. We need to see if there is an undead. Ooh, a whale sapper, even con. I don't want to deal with that at all. Hey, Slicks, this is the Draka Chrome UI. I think I saw one of his videos about the Epic, the Shaman Epic artwork that he got for his room. That was the last Michael Shenanigans video I saw. Hey, yo. Yeah, this guy has Spirit of Wolf, will guaranteed run when he's at low health. This guy's an even con, and will heal him through the wall. Being even, he's got a better chance of resisting my lull. What would be perfect is if the next cell over has an undead mob, and I can fight this excavator in that cell with the undead there, so he won't run. It's my favorite epic. I think the monk epic. I mean, there's a lot of cool epics, like the Paladin epic, obviously, like a flaming sword. Who wouldn't want that? The ranger epic with the lightning encasing the swords. That's pretty awesome too. But I like the monk epic because I used to be a monk main, and it's just such a cool quest when you go through, like when you're talking to Vorash and you get to look at him and say, I am the one. It just feels really cool. It feels epic. All right, this is my guy. This is the guy who will aggro me. He's gonna walk right up to this doorway here. Oh, that's not good. It's crazy that I'm not aggroing at this range. I think we're gonna bail on this, folks. We're gonna origin ourselves out of here and come back at level 20. Yeah, this is highly sketch. Yeah, Reptox. That video was Flats. His stuff is really awesome. I really love his videos. It must take a while to edit and stuff, but it's really good because you don't have to watch like the whole 900 hours or whatever he puts into it. You know what I mean? You get to see kind of like the highlight reel. It really sucks I can't wear these. Yeah, just small races can't wear them. Nice, Lazik. Which epic was it? Yeah, this is a TLP server, Deca. It's not P99 right now. The worst undercon in Classic? You mean like the deepest of undercons? I think they got rid of most of the undercons liver, unfortunately. I thought it was cool. I mean, the classic undercons were usually like, outside of merchants, right, which were like intentionally made way stronger than they should have been, and like the Peniel guards who were like level 1 but hit for like 120. Outside of those examples, because I don't really count them, I think the classics are like Ambassador Divin and Dornbedin. Something about Dark Elves, right? They want to make them undercons. I think Adorn is probably the biggest undercon. Yeah, like you guys are saying. I think we remember Ambassador Divin as an undercon a little bit, but he probably wasn't as much of an undercon. It's just that he happened to be the highest level mob in the zone, you know? Oh, that's cool that your mom plays Slazik. Tovax, was Tovax an undercon or was he just a necromancer NPC? You know what I mean? Caster NPCs, in particular necro NPCs, are just brutal. I'm thinking of going to High Pass. I remember doing High Pass on the last Paladin, and it worked pretty well in this level range. I think we actually went a little bit earlier than this, and we did like all the way up to like the mid-20s there in PA. Are there any overcons? Surely there are. A lot of them get patched out though, because they become abused. Another undercon, kind of like that we might overlook, would be, where am I going right now? I'm trying to go to Rivervale. Okay, so if you guys remember the little clockwork gnomes that were in Steamfont Mountains, they're way harder than the comparable level 2 through like 4 content. They have way more HP, they hit harder. It's not like gonna wreck you instantly, but it is noticeably different fighting them. Noticeably more challenging, for sure. I feel like there's an overcon that I should know. What's going on, Revs? Good to see you. You know, later on in EQ, they do that thing where they're like, this mob appears to be relatively weak, and it gives like less EXP for its level or something. You guys know what I'm talking about? I think that might be one of the things you're talking about, DM. Those boars, they might be like that. Like they're basically tuned for players who are not yet caught up on that AA treadmill. It'd be crazy if I was just like randomly KOS to some crap here. Got smoked. Dude, our Paladin looks awesome now. This Bloodforge armor, very nice. I think piece for piece, Bloodforge is 1 AC worse than Banded, so really not a bad deal. I must have gotten like 8 different arms and a ton of bracers. The legs I got only 1 of, and the head I only got 1 of. I never got a BP, but if we got the BP, we wouldn't wear it anyway, because the Scared BP has both more AC and some beneficial stats here. I think the next armor we'll get will be small bronze. Just guessing that it'll be small bronze and it'll be from Unrest for most of these slots. While I'm over here, I should buy a cloudy pot. Right? It looks good. The green BP right in the center just really pulls it all together, I think. Yeah, so right now I'm working on getting my two-hand slashing up to par. Technically, it's probably faster or probably better DPS right now for me to still use just the Bull Smasher exclusively, because at 18 we do still have some of that damage cap on us. We'll occasionally break the damage cap due to our relatively high strength and proximity to level 20. But yeah, right now we're still under the damage cap a little bit, so we're not getting the full benefit of having this Deepwater Harpoon. Man, I wish I had streamed getting the Deepwater Harpoon. It was the sketchiest thing ever. So I go there, and I remembered last time when we did it on the human, I didn't have any problem because the mobs weren't KOS. But I think I was just really cautious, and I conned everything, and the skeletons, true to form, are not KOS. But, big but, the gargoyles are KOS. So I just ran up, not paying attention. 3 gargoyles aggroed me. I think they were all yellow to me. And I was like, well, this is it. Like, I'm dead, right? But I was able to strafe run and stay ahead of them. I had already spawned Sentry Zyren, and I knew I just had to wait 30 minutes for her to despawn, and she would drop the harpoon. And I was like, but I don't really have an exit strategy, right? Because my swimming skill is not skilled up, so there's no way I can get away from these guys. Even though I could strafe run away from them on land, the moment I hit the water, they're going to catch me. But it turns out, I don't know if this is all mobs or just them, or if I just ran in a really nice spot and it messed them up. But it seems to be that, what am I looking for? Alchemy Vendor. It seems to be that if you just kite a mob around for 20 minutes without doing anything, no engaging, nothing at all, they just dropped. So that's what happened. They just totally dropped aggro on me after kiting them in circles around the island for 20 minutes. I don't think it's this guy. I think it's like in here. There we go. Oof, man, feeling that charisma penalty right now. What is she con? She's apprehensive to me. Great, of course. Just take 2 of these. Yeah, I was really worried about it. You see that little gamer thing of mine? Like, there was a golden line on my screen. I knew I didn't need to go there, but I couldn't help myself. I just followed it naturally. I thought I was screwed, man. I was like, I don't know. I wasn't just gonna let myself die. Camdolph, good to see you actually making a stream. Hopefully this new time is good for you, and thank you for continuing that sub, dude. Maddie, thanks for the follow. Yeah, I thought I was totally dead though. Let's see what time it is. 6 a.m. Whoa, whoa, liver flap with the sub. Thanks, liver flap. It's interesting. You never see this shit dead. I see a goblin, which tells me that we're probably safe in here. No one's in the zone. Okay, let's IV you up just in case and head to high pass. We'll definitely do another fun marathon stream when the new server launches, whenever that happens to be. What are these guys? What's going on here? Teardle Assassin. Okay. I see Bixies. I think I'm in this. I'm in this clear right now. Should be no undead left. Yeah, so we'll do another marathon stream. I don't know if we'll like really race hardcore for like server first 50, but maybe we'll just like push for a very fast, you know, no sleep 50. That'll be cool. I feel like I'm past my prime. It's time to hang up the boots on trying to really go hard in EQ. So we'll just do like a 35, 40 hour grind, get 50, and then call it a day. Even doing it that way though, we'll still probably end up being like top 3 groups. unless we run into a bunch of problems with trains and stuff. Yeah, right, Siphon. There are probably a very small minority of kids right now who play EQ, and they are not as old as EQ is. So we're zoning into this terrible new high pass. We are going to be on the orc side. Let's check. No one's here. Oh, someone is here. That's crazy. Testament to the strong population on Mangler that some of this classic stuff is still got anyone in it. Okay, it's all clear. All right, we didn't need our cloudy potion. But yeah, I bought the cloudy potions just so we could get past this orc section. Hopefully this person is not doing the gnolls and the orcs. Look at that name, SSARLOK. That is an Ixar name. I bet you. Bet you anything that guy's an Ixar. Yeah, so I think the game right now is to do what we did on the original Pally, which is pull gnolls to the guards, and she's met 50%. Because I was in unrest for a little while on this character, and man, I was just getting beat up. I was taunt pulling mobs through the house into the yard, and like I can do evens, but it's like really slow right now. I'm just not there on the power curve until I get that undead nuke sometime in my 20s. Do I know why the phrase bacon waffles was chosen back in the day? Yeah, I can tell you I didn't choose it. It was Pan. I want to say it was Pan. Oingo. Remember Oingo the Bard? It was like him and Beanie really loved bacon waffles. And you know, I just thought it was cool, so we memed it up a little bit, and they were always talking about it in officer chat, and so me and Across were like, let's use that as like the audio trigger. For those who don't know what Camdolph is talking about, in our first Faceless Guild ever, we had we used audio triggers to wake people up, because we would like straight up just be like, whole guild, Nagafin's in window, we're just gonna poop sock in King Tormax's room, right? Everyone's just gonna sit there. And we would sleep, but you'd be there fully buffed more or less. And when a mob would spawn, the designated tracker would just spam an audio trigger and wake everybody up. And our audio trigger was bacon waffles. EOE used the audio trigger, raid mob now. What's up, Zyko? Dude, good to see you. You guys know Zyko Mantis was in my very first ever static group in Everquest. Yeah, this layout is a lot different, Gelid. Decca, it's actually not that. The way it works on these servers is if I do more than 50% of the damage, then I get the credit. Just get this guy out of the way here. So what I'll do is I'll fight the gnolls to about 55% usually. Then I'll pull them to a guard, and we'll fight. I'll keep hitting them. I usually come out the winner. Archon, how old am I? I am in my 20s. Don't want to get too specific, right? I think I'm younger than most people expect. That's what I've heard. Right, we're gonna get an ad here. That's fine though. Ghastly, good to see you, dude. Man, everyone's coming out right now. Ghastly, first one got to, I want to say like 42. This one's going the distance though. We were just doing some really sketch stuff in the bowels of Kern's tower. Zyko played with me. He played with Faceless real big on, what was it? Zyko Lockjaw? Was that the server where we did our static? But yeah, he was Zyko Mantis, the mage. Maddie, Mingler does not have hell levels. Yeah, so when I started on the Gulak server, Camdolph, despite my aspirations to play hardcore, I was a huge noob. So I didn't do any static groups. I pugged myself to 50 Yeah, that was 2011, Camdolph. You were friends with Ambiguously, right, Cam? Okay, so we've gotten this guy to 49 now, right? So if I pay attention, I run up to the guards here. Now they can go over his HP. Like if their last hit does like 100 damage, you know what I mean? There's a chance that I don't get credit. But look, see that? Boom. It's that easy. I should have bought bandages. Yep. I just remember you guys had such a signature like name combo going on there. Do you mind if I tell chat like the name combo that Ambiguously had? If not, it's fine. All right, so their names with the surnames and everything. Cam had a really good friend named Ambiguously, and his full thing was Ambiguously, and then his surname was Gay Duo, and they always hung out together. Good times. Vulak was a lot of fun in Classic, you know, before the Harm Touch Wars really got carried away. Back when we had the rotation, everyone was on good terms. No, he's also not Nixar. Let's see. Is he really not Nixar? Or is he using a Crown of Deception? What's going on, High Tech? Does this guy just like... Is he just AFK at this moment? I don't know. So for you guys who are not familiar with what I'm doing, you probably are noticing that I have a two-hander, right? And then I'm still swapping to my shield and my hammer to bash. I'm using a bandolier trick here. Actually, where is it? Swap right here. Oh boy, it's not good. Okay, so I've got this social called swap. Every time I press the button 2, the secondary of my 2 is linked to hotbar 2 column like 11, which is where swap is lined up. So what swap does is pause 3, activate bandolier bash, which is my shield, do ability 2, which is my bash ability, and then bandolier activate 2-hand slash or slash here. So, and you know, basically a quick second, I swap my gear, I bash, swap it back, and then do ability 3, just for icing on top, is disarm. And that way I can use my two-hander and still bash. All right, time to jump down here. Oof, man, out of mana. I'm gonna take a minute to med here and catch up on chat. Sorry, I missed a few things. A sub in the static group. You know, that might not be a terrible idea, DM. Whoa, Zyathan with the gifted sub. 35 gifted subs. Grats, Gelid. Thank you very much, Zyathan. Yeah, so the idea of having a subscriber in the static group, not a terrible idea. It always seems to work out that there's always like one person in the static who is not part of like the really tight-knit crew. On Agnar launch, we had a guy who he like took a bunch of magnesium and got really sick like 25 hours in, and then played really poorly until one of us boxed him the rest of the time. And let's see, what do we do? The rest of the servers, they're usually like a person that we know pretty good, but it's just not in like the super tight friend group that I have. I would say that Vulak was, or sorry, Lockjaw was the only one where it was like just me and a bunch of my friends. Agnar, we also had a person who had never played Everquest before. He was a real life friend of mine who I worked with. and Agnar server launch was his first time ever playing EQ, and his first experience with EQ was being in a 1 through 50 no sleep static group. He tanked Finny at level 46, then tanked the server first Lady Vox and Nagafin, and then I think he like never logged in again. It's hard to top that, right? I know, right? He is a god. He's super awesome. He comes back to help out on server launches, even though he doesn't like actually play anymore. Just get this guy killed. He'll come back and like be the dude who runs our spells out to us and stuff while we're grinding. The true champion of the people. Alright, that monk is gone? Or is he just like killing the other stuff? Okay, he's gone. Good. Shaman. Shaman is actually like a critical fail for us. Like we really don't want to run into Shaman. He's gonna slow us. The Shaman and the Soothsayer both suck. Ideally we'd get like a lot of the champions and brawlers. And I could cure disease on myself to get the slow off, but it's just not worth it. Drowsy's like a relatively short duration slow. By the time I do the 2 casts I need to cure Drowsy, I could have just killed the mob. Alright, so he's at 44. Run to good old Captain Orban right here. And good to go. Rainwater. I think this is deceptive, right? Yeah, it's not actually a drink. Yeah, Hanagrams. This is high pass. I'm not a big fan of the graphical update. I think it looked way better without it. Hannah, I played with a really talented Everquest player named Hannah on the Agnar server. You wouldn't happen to be that person by any chance, would you? It does look like I'm inside of an urn. The only thing I like about it is this. Like the signs look really good. Man, Slazik, I think it would be like the most popular TLP ever just on that alone. Hannah, it was on Agnar. You would definitely know because Hannah became an officer in Faceless and was like 24/7 online raiding with us and stuff. He was a wood elf warrior. You know what's terrible? They nerfed Guard EXP, which was like such a classic part of the EQ experience as I remember it. Pull this guy away before we get more spawns. Yeah, you can still get fine steel. High keep and high pass guards are not nerfed, so they'll still give good EXP, but the rest just don't. Oh, okay. P99 is a lot of fun. I think P99 is the best way to play EverQuest, basically. Right now, at least. Unfortunately, I'm only able to stream like 4 hours a week, so it's just not conducive for me to do this run on P99. But for people who maybe don't know, this is a solo self-found hardcore stream, so if the character dies, we delete it, and we don't accept items from other players, we don't trade or anything, we don't group. I don't accept buffs from other players. All the things I have come from mobs I have soloed, quests I have completed myself, or items I've crafted with my own trade skills. I think that's the gist of the rule set here. Guards don't count. Oh yeah, high tech. We have that bull smasher right here. Feels good. Basically, this character, we've gotten everything we ever wanted. The Bloodforged Helm, the Bull Smasher. We got the strength rings from the quest. We've got the Taskmaster earrings. We've got our Deepwater harpoon. We've got our rusty spike shoulder pads. And we have our spiked collar. Oof. Yeah, it took me like 10, I want to say like 10 turn-ins on this server. I was super lucky. When I did it on P99 for my Paladin there, I got it on my first or second turn-in. I didn't realize how lucky I was until I went back later. Let's check my played. My played is 1 day, 17 hours, and 53 minutes. My stream time on this character is like 8 hours. Feels bad, man. But a huge amount, like Zaide, you can kind of attest to this because we were talking on Discord a lot during this. I spent like 3 days camping the Bloodforge helm because I had to turn in. I had to do so many turn-ins before I finally got it. And the first day was kind of like wasted because it was just me learning the spawns for Zarchumi and Corflunk. You know, P99 has a, I would call an inaccurate spawn method for those two ogres for the Ogre Heads quest. And all the information on Allah about them is also incorrect. So we just had to learn from scratch. So something crazy. Now that we're in a kind of low pressure environment, I'll talk about it. Like I said before, Zarchumi or her PH will respawn in 8 or 9 seconds. Corflunk about 11 minutes. I think it's like 10 minutes, 54 seconds to be exact. So here's how you do it. Their PH is always the same. It's one goblin, right? It's always a pather. And there's only one for each of them. It can be either a goblin whelp, a goblin shaman, or a goblin wizard. They spawn pretty much anywhere in the southern half of the zone, in like that south quadrant between the crossroads and stuff. I want that guy to not come over here and add. But what you do is all the other pathing goblins in Butcher Block share a spawn cycle with just like yard trash, right? So if you kill only pathing goblins, eventually those goblins will spawn as a rat instead, right? And the only 2 pathing goblins left in the entire southern quadrant will be the PHs for Zarchumi and Corflunk. Corflunk has a really fascinating ability. As soon as Corflunk spawns, somewhere in the zone, a goblin begins running towards him. Or Zarchumi begins running to him. The goblin that runs to him is always the Zarchumi PH. So if you see Corflunk solo, just start fighting him and just off-tank him for like 30 seconds. And Zarchumi or her PH will roll up on him. That's the easiest way to find the Zarchumi PH. DM, I guess that's a good question. It would be a lot of hours of recording. And it would kind of like take up a bunch of hard drive space, I think. What's up, Magic? Yeah, this is like my new stream time, I think. We're gonna go for 8:30 p.m. Monday and Friday. But yeah, I just think it's super cool how Corflunk more or less Kazakh Thul summons the Zarchumi PH or Zarchumi to his location. If you ever see him walking around the zone, you'll tend to notice he has like just some random goblin that'll follow him around, literally like a pet. And that pet is always the Zarchumi PH. If you don't have a tracker, it can be a huge hassle to find them because they can spawn seemingly all over the place in that southern right quadrant. Well, I'm glad it works better for you, Magic. I assume, you know, it'll be a better time for a lot of folks. 5 p.m. Eastern, the old time, is kind of like, if you are on the West Coast, you're probably still at work. If you're on the East Coast, you might be at dinner, you know what I mean? It's just not a great time. But it was good for me because it was like, you know, family events, you know what I mean? The most out-of-the-way place I've parkoured to? Ooh, that's a good question. On this character, Slazik, or like ever? What am I doing? Look at me, I'm being bad. Forgetting that I could just be training this guy. Alright, Soothsayer, you come over here. No. We're probably not going to be able to get our 50% on this guy, unfortunately. Ever. You know, there's a lot of crazy spots you can get to in Classic with Levitate, because like a lot of the original zones just weren't designed with Levitate in mind. Go to like Blackborough with Levitate, and you can do all kinds of weird geometry things. And there's like weird trees and stuff up on floors that are above where any mobs spawn. Gotta redo all my buffs. I think at 18 I probably have center. If I was not so lazy, I could go buy it. But yeah, our next weapon that we want to get is going to be the XR Berserker Club. Actually, you guys can see my goals up there in the top left. I want to get the Kern toy, the Gorilla Hide Mask, and the XR Berserker Club. I think they'll all be pretty easy to get once I'm like level 20, 21. Right now, pretty sketch to get them. That'd be a cool one. I don't think I've done that, Maddie. I think we messed around trying to get on the roof during our old stream. I know in POK you can get in some crazy places with Levitate, like just going up all the way up to the top of the library and then floating over, and you can like go above the bazaar door and it just zones you anyway. I'm sure a ton of people have done that, since you just sit there and your buffs never go away and stuff. Yeah, now is the time to start working on my Bind Wound skill. Because Bind Wound would be like, let's see, what level are we? 18. It would start to be getting to, you know, a point where my skill cap would be pretty good HP returns. Okay, we got a brawler here. Good for me. How's Paladin nowadays? Paladin is good as always, right? Safe and secure. EQ is still a ton of fun. You should play again, Forward. Come check it out. Alright, we're at 49. Let's go Captain Orban. Captain with the assist. Well, I'm glad I could be here for you, Slazik. I'm having a lot of fun. Hey, Forward, thanks for the follow. Gypsy, I think the bags do work. I think they're 100%. The other stuff doesn't work though. I think I could be wrong. So if someone in chat knows better than me, side with them. Should be a Null and a Soothsayer down here. Oh, Shaman. I'm just gonna lull that guy. Straight off with the Drowsy. If I wasn't so lazy, I would unequip my Rusty Spike shoulder pads. I should make an audio trigger, and then every time I hear it, unequip these. Can I do something really dumb here? Can I? It doesn't work. If I could just click this and pop them off, that'd be awesome. 2 slashing, 95 out of 115. It's not terrible. when we hit 20, our top skill should be 125. We want to hit 20 at basically max two-hand slash skill. I don't know if it's every character. I think it might be one character per account per server. Should have a spawn here soonish. Oof, don't add. Lol. Good. Oh wow, lol wore off very quickly. I need a big hit so I can just pull this to Captain Orban right now. What are my thoughts on the Daybreak acquisition? I think they're going to keep bouncing this game around every like 5 years. I really like the way the new company published all the financials right out of the gate. I think that looked very promising. Ultimately, I think that it's not going to have a huge impact on like us as players. The biggest things I would be concerned about is with the new leadership, we could see a change in how Everquest interacts with emulated servers. And that would probably be the only real change we'd see. Like maybe they would invest some more money into EQ, but I doubt it. So this company has bought a ton of kind of like defunct or old MMOs and video games, online games recently. And you buy a lot of them as groups, right? You got to get a return on investment based on the kind of loan they got. I don't want to go into a super amount of detail about that, one, because I don't understand it as well as I would like to if I was going to talk about it, and two, because it would take a long time. But basically what's going to happen, in my opinion, is they've got a few really good assets like DCUO, D&D Online, Everquest, and maybe one or two other ones that make a good amount of money. And those are going to be used to finance, basically to subsidize the other MMOs that are probably closer to losing money. You know what I mean? Basically, they didn't pay like cash in hand for these games they bought. They like borrowed money to buy the games. So they've got to make a certain amount back beyond just operating costs and hoping for profits. They have to be able to make their loan payments and stuff too. So if there is a significant overflow of funds, I doubt it's going to be reinvested into the game. And then in terms of how we see this impact like day-to-day gameplay for us, I would guess not at all. Jay Chan is running the show right now, and she's going to make the most important decisions that impact EQ. My understanding about Jay Chan is that she doesn't really care about certain things that some players really care about, like macro quest being a big one. I think Jay Chan is pretty ambivalent about it. Like she doesn't have a strong negative association with macro quest, which means we're likely to see less enforcement in the future than we did under Holly for things like warping and other hacking efforts. I consider that a huge negative that will be associated with the Jay Chan tenure, but I could be totally wrong. Maybe she'll prove me wrong. Right, like botting and stuff like that. Now, Holly wasn't perfect either, right? But Holly, well, at least DBG under the leadership of Holly made changes eventually that were positive. you might have to deal with someone breaking the rules and griefing people for 6 months. But eventually, there was going to be kind of like a reckoning. And that's kind of like, we saw a huge number of positive changes for the community under Holly. Like, before Holly, TLP servers were like once every 3 to 5 years, you know what I mean? Before Holly, there was no agent of change. There were no pick zones. All those things were opposed. Before Holly, macro questing was much, much worse than it was under Holly's tenure. I don't know if I can attribute all that to her or not, but I can tell you for sure, if you were to play on like Finnegal and compare it to playing on Fippy in Vulak, the amount of macro quests you saw, night and day difference. So it very much seemed like Holly was not like hip to trends in the EQ community, but when something became a big deal and a lot of people were talking about it and hitting her up, she would make the change. All right, this guy's added, but we're at 45 here, so drop him in. This brawler really doesn't want to lose aggro on me, so we're gonna have to race this soothsayer. I'm probably gonna lose. Yeah, definitely lost. Once we break 20, if we were to stay here, I think we would occasionally win these, even starting closer to 100%. Yeah. I think the new company will keep pumping out TLPs. The cost of making TLPs is probably very low, and we know they're a huge profit generator. I'm pretty confident that TLP is basically why Holly got hired at Blizzard. She took TLPs, which were like a once every 3 years, once every 5 years thing, and made them like annual, sometimes more than annual. And it just, the player base is so live, so huge, so many concurrent players on a server. The metrics, I bet you internally, when you look at before Holly and after Holly, I bet they just jumped up so much, and she was able to leverage that, I assume, into a better job. Yeah, I think it would be cool. Yeah, pretty much, right, Slassic? So many people buy those bags, it's nuts. Why wouldn't you do like weird custom servers every so often? Seasonal servers with kind of strange rules. The biggest negative for Everquest in the recent history has been probably the loss of Prathin. With Prathin gone, I don't see much new development happening for EQ TLP servers. I think he was the big driving force behind a lot of it, so I think from now on we're going to be stuck with what we got, more or less. Which means a lot of Finnegal clones in the future, I would guess. I really hope that they do not crack down on the emulated servers as well. I think it'd be terrible. I don't know that it would be effective even if they tried, you know what I mean? Blizzard tries to crack down on emulated servers and they're still there, so. Would I work on EQ if they offered me a job? I think I would turn it down, Jamox. I would happily volunteer to do things with EQ, but I would not want to have a paycheck associated with EQ because, you know, when you have a paycheck, there's more expected of you, time-wise, and I'm not confident enough in the companies that historically have run or owned EQ that I would want to be employed by them, if that makes sense. What's going on, Fuker? Glad you could be here. DM, I think what we've heard is they're about 50-50. but I want to say that the TLP population is kind of like growing or staying the same. It doesn't really get smaller on a year-to-year basis. I need to heal big time. However, live servers I do think get small. Oh, jeez. Pop that. Not today, Flamepaw. That was a close one. Yeah, so I think, you know, like, every server cycle, TLPs probably get more new people, and 99% of the same players return for new TLP servers, whereas, like, every time a player quits live, I don't think there's a new person coming in to fill that void. So live is probably on a very steady, slow downtrend, and TLPs are probably on, like, a plateau with an occasional uptick. Launchpad, any advice about wanting to get back into EQ? Yes, 100%. Let me ask you, when was the last time you played? Man, what did we hit there, guys? Like 5%? 2%? It was close. Well, regardless of when you played Launchpad, right now we got a couple months before we would expect a new TLP server. So I would say get your bearings now, right? Go on to probably Aerodune is your best bet, and just get used to EQ again. And then in March, April, or May, we're almost certainly going to see another TLP server, a fresh launch. And when that happens, 100% go to the new TLP, the fresh one. It was close, Zaide. It was real close. Yeah, these gnolls worship Relisek. I know, Angel, right? It is really nice being able to bash and use a two-hander. I'm telling you, man. I think if we could go back to 1998 and talk about the EQ and talk to the EQ devs, we could persuade them to make Barbarians a Paladin race. Just probably nobody brought it up. Oh, you played on Cornav and Mangler. Man, you're not getting back into EQ. You're already there. Yeah, I would say just jump in. If you want to do like the classic cycle again, just wait till like March or May when the new one comes out and jump on that. Aerodune is in Velius right now. They got like 2 more months until Lucklin. If you want to do content after Velius, depending on how far you want to go with this thing, there's a few different options for you. Mangler is kind of past the EQ that most people know. They are about to enter DODH, I think, Depths of Dark Hollow. So that's 2 expansions after Omens of War, which is kind of like the late expansion that a lot of classic EQ players at least know of. Sella, way too far. They're about to hit live. Finny, same thing, way too far. Miracle, dead server. Rizlona, full of bots. So if you want to go past Lucklin right now, or past Velius right now, I would say Aerodune or Mangler are your best bets. But I would add the caveat that almost no EverQuest time lock progression server is ever going to reach live again with the current rule set. Of the current TLPs that we have out right now, which there's a lot of them, not just the preferred ones, the only ones I think will reach live with a guild actually there clearing content are Finny and Cello. Dude, Cash, we actually don't know because no server's done it since like 2007. Yeah, Angel, that's why we're here actually, because I'll just beat him down to 50, pull him to the guard. As long as I do 51% overall, I get the EXP. So the only other server to ever make it to live was a Combine server, with Realm of Insanity being the guild that was raiding there still. Technically, they got merged into live, the expansion, before they would have hit live, I think. So they might have been forced to, quote, skip one expansion. But that was the last time it happened. That server came out, I want to say, in 2007. I could be off a little bit there. Someone can fact check me. So in the ensuing 13 years, no one else has done it. In 2021, Cello will be the first server to do it, with our very own Faceless repping us. Shortly after them, Finnegal will hit live. That'll be about 3 to 6 months after Cello does, I think. And none of the current TLPs will follow suit, I don't think. They haven't so far, Cash. A lot of the dead TLPs were dead for like multiple years before they got merged into other TLPs. They just let them hang out there because, one, the merging process is so sloppy, and two, I think the cost to keep them running is very low, especially when there's like no one logging into them. Yeah, Celo's the casual server. The most hardcore server of all time. I wonder if the player base generally on like Mangler and Eridun and Rizlona think that they're going to reach live. Like if people are watching me and they hear me say that and they're like, nah, that guy's an idiot. I think people playing on 3-month servers who think they're going to hit live, just, I don't know if they really understand how much of a huge time commitment that is. And there's definitely a few players who are willing to do that. But one, a lot of the players will just quit due to attrition, life changes and stuff. A lot of the players will quit because they stop liking the game as it gets further in. And then guilds will consolidate, your friends will quit, and you'll be playing with people that you maybe don't like. And finally, you reach content where maybe you just can't beat it. You hit a stumbling block, and your guild dies. Like, if there's 100 people on a server, and they're all in the same guild, and they all want to play Monk, Warrior, and Rogue, the server's dead. Right, like you need the clerics. You need a balance of personalities and people. It's really hard. It takes a long time to reach live on a 3-month TLP. And I think all the people, like 90% of the people who are willing to do that kind of grind and stick with it, are already on Finnegal and will not do it again in the near future. Dude, this frost ripped. It's kicking my ass. I might lose this if I don't land a hit. There we go. We got a 13 at the end. Honestly, Cash, I think it's the opposite. I think the easier the grind is, the less people stick around on the server. I know that might not make sense. But without changing the time that you're locked into an expansion, if you defeat the expansion more quickly and quote, like, complete your character, then, I mean, you know, if your character's max level and you're best in slot in every slot, you've done everything you want to do, you just don't log in anymore, you know what I mean? That's why, like on Lockjaw, where we played for 6 months in Kunark, and it was pretty easy. There's things like the Crown of Ryle, that was like jokingly called the Crown of Retirement, because it was like the rarest best in slot item, and when people got it, like they didn't log in anymore. He retired because there was nothing left to do at that point. I think, Maddie, I think they're mostly capitalizing on nostalgia players coming back and stuff. I don't think there's a huge number of new players coming in. There's some, but I bet you there are less than 50 brand new Everquest players on each TLP. Yeah, I think the Cello style server is the only server that really has a chance of hitting live anytime in the near future. Maybe like 5-6 years from now. If they slowed down the pace of TLPs a little bit, didn't churn them out so much, there'd be an appetite for a server population that you would need to get a guild that could do the 3-month server all the way to the end. But right now, I just don't think it's there. I need to buff myself up a little bit. Yo, this flame paw is gonna wreck me. Even Kong, it's gonna be very, very sketch. Just gonna take these off. Hey, Launchpad, thanks for the follow. You know, I also think that's another thing. Like, man, if you're a brand new EQ player coming and you try to do a TLP launch, like the launch nonsense is just gonna make you quit. Imagine trying to play on Eridu and that was your first time ever trying out EQ and you just can't log into the one server for like 3 weeks, and when you do, it's a laggy mess. It crashes all the time. That would chase most people away, I think. They'd be like, yeah, that EverQuest game, that's garbage. I think Rizlona will last longer than Airdoon. Yes, I concur. I don't think it's gonna hit live though, Mr. Jones. All right, time to run. Oh, that's bad. All right, Captain Orban, I don't know which one of these you're attacking, but it needs to be that flame paw right there. What is happening right now? EXP on Airdoon is fine. It's like the standard TLP EXP, which is pretty dang fast. You know, Mr. Jones, the thing I liked about the Poplock server is it's like watching a show that doesn't have a plot arc in mind, you know what I mean? And it's just going to go on forever and ever and ever. You don't want to get into that show because you're like, I want to see an ending. The thing with Agnar that I really liked, even from the announcement, was that it had a hard end date, and that meant like I didn't have to say one day I'll just quit and it'll be over and I don't know when that'll be. I could say like, all right, we're gonna get to this expansion and then it's done, and then we beat the game. You know what I mean? You satisfied the requirements of the server. I like that idea that you could beat it and be done and not just quit. Nah, DM, I don't think that Airdoom will hit live. Yeah, you'll see a huge population drop on Airdoom when the next TLP starts. That is for sure. I mean, it'll go pretty far. It'll get to like DODH, past there sometime. let's see, like if I had to pick an expansion, maybe like Underfoot. I could see them making it to Underfoot. Maybe even like Veil of Valaris. I don't see Air making it far past VOA though. And way before it gets to VOA, it'll only have one guild on it. Yeah, I agree. Barcelona will lose fewer people because they have a very specific rule set. Eridune's rule set is largely like the thing that makes Eridune unique is like largely ignored, and the other part of it, the GM enforcement, was basically like always a joke. The GMs are truly too inept to enforce any rules that matter. The rules people want to have enforced are rules like plain S policy rules that actually don't exist anymore, or like anti-botting MacroQuest rules that most GMs just can't spot when it's obvious to real players. I could see them releasing 2 against Zythan, yeah. They probably have some metrics they use to look at, you know, and decide. Classic, literally anything other than a classic launch I think would be an improvement, to be honest, man. Unless we're doing like Miracle, which launched way too deep. What's up, Village? Yeah, Mr. Jones' problem is they're not going to be able to get it, man. I truly believe that J-Chan does not care about warping. Yeah, it's a function of MacroQuest where you can basically just like warp or zone to any zone or location. Like, Maddie, basically, like, imagine right now I'm in High Pass, right? Let's say I was in a raid guild and Nagfin spawned. I could type /zone Sol B or Sol Dung B, the short name for the zone. My character would just zone right to the zone. No movement required. Just boom, 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 zone. And then once I'm in Sol B, I could just say, like, okay, like, let's say Nagafin already got engaged by the time I got there somehow. I would do /tar Nagafin. You could target him from any place in the zone, no matter how far he is, and /warp space target or something, and you would instantly appear at the same location as Nagafin. But you could do that to any mob, any zone, anytime. And if there's a group of people, or even a mass boxer, using that kind of functionality, and you're not using it, and you're competing for resources, which in Everquest you're almost always competing for resources, you're just not on the same playing field, right? Yeah, it's been in the game, at least since like real Velius, some of those functions have been in. We're not talking about just like showy Q stuff, but like MacroQuest has been in some form for a long, long time, and it used to be much worse, and it's getting back to where it used to be now. They clamped down on it a bit during the Holly era, and it's working its way back to degeneracy. No, it's a MacroQuest thing. It's a hacking program, for lack of a better term. Right, yeah, Holly actually cut a deal sort of with EQ Mule, who is like the dude for this, and said, hey, don't use it on the progression servers, just make it not work. And they had a deal worked out with that pretty much. 99% of people who cheated back in the day when it was super common, they're not like scripters or anything like that. They're not brilliant people. They just downloaded the software off a website and clicked 2 buttons and boom, it works. So EQ Mule, the person who makes it, just made it not work on TLP servers. Simple. And that kept a huge population from using it. Now, some people who actually are kind of well versed in this sort of thing could make their own compile of MQ, MacroQuest, and they could abuse it with relative impunity. And since basically no one used it anymore, everyone, when someone would warp, they'd be like, you can't warp anymore, it doesn't work. But like the reality was, these people just had their custom, more or less a custom hack that they could use. And it was passed around in tight-knit circles, but those things always slowly spread out to more and more folks, and that's kind of what's happened. When Finny came out, that was the first server where they were like, okay, TLP, no more hacking software. And within a couple months, very select numbers of people had developed their own custom compiles. And that's like, maybe you have like 3-4 people using it. And then each progression server became more and more common, and now it's just a lot more common than you would think. I didn't get EXP for that first one. He probably regen too much. That sucks. It's the worst thing about trying to do like quote like competitive server launch. It just doesn't matter because there's no integrity, you know what I mean? And there's no enforcement. Like when Cella launched, there was MacroQuest abuse on a really, really high level that I haven't really seen since almost like the 2011 days. And it just makes any kind of competitive atmosphere have no integrity right from the get-go. It's not terrible. We've gained about a half level here. This camp is boring though. Mr. Jones, are you in a guild on Rizlona, or are you just rolling solo? I'm low on mana, so this will be a pretty sketch fight. If it starts going south early, I might just have to bail on this. Yeah, I heard about that. I heard it was good old satanic. Are you guys pissed off about that? The slow is killing me right now. recasting it. Dope. Thanks, Null Flame Paw. We gotta go super bad. What's this guy at? 82. Oh god, Orban is not gonna kill this guy fast enough. Here we go. No mana. Just gotta fight it out. Whew. This should just make the Agent of Change for Sleeper's Tomb let you spawn whichever version you want, regardless of what the open world status is. In fact, there shouldn't be open world raid mobs anymore. The player base has proven that they are not responsible enough to handle them. It's been 21 years, it's okay. We have instances, just use them. If people want to do the open world style raiding, there are plenty of options available to them through other venues. Hey, Sharder, thank you for the follow. Right. Humanity doesn't deserve open world raid mobs. He's Quest 2020. The barrier for entry for Everquest is so low that banning people doesn't even matter anymore. Like, people who are like hacking on a high level, you ban them, like they're gonna have another army up right away. You've got to like identify the individual and have a very dedicated effort to remove them from your game, like with IPs, with MAC addresses. And even that's not going to be, you know, totally effective, but at least make it more difficult. And do, you know, patterns. Like when you see a certain pattern of behavior, always respond with the ban. RIP P99 auctions. Well, you know, they just opened up Kunark, so it's like it's really popping over there at P99 auctions. Yeah, unfortunately, the player base just has no recourse against scum like that. There's nothing you could do. Well, there's something you could do, which is not buy Chrono, right? Not buy loot. That would work. People won't do that. Zarkane, thank you for the sub. 3 big months. Hey, I'm glad to see you, man. My new time is 8:30 Mondays and Fridays, so hopefully you'll be able to catch more. See, it's an oof to us, Slazik, but like I bet you it's been such a huge success profit-wise for Daybreak, or whatever, you know, whatever the name of the company is this week. Chrono is just a way for the parent company to tax real money trading. That's all it is. It's them saying, okay, you can do it, we're gonna get our cut though. Like if you're buying and selling plat, Daybreak, or you know, whatever their name is, they're not getting a cut. Chrono, they get their cut. From a business perspective, it makes a lot of sense. Right. Well, there's just too much. The ability for someone to like actually live off of Chrono in real money trading is just too great, you know? You got dudes making like $5,000 a week playing EverQuest, just being degenerates. And everything they do to the game world while they play is a negative impact on the community. Yeah, people would eBay those accounts. I remember it being a big deal when eBay agreed to not, like, they would remove EverQuest account sales. I've never played Eve. Is it really crazy? Is there like a huge RMT thing, or is it just like a legit, very complex natural economy? Guards, are we doing something here? Stop counting your money and start issuing orders, guards. Anyone know where that quote's from? Minus the guards part. Right, yeah. I feel like back in the day, you could always tell when people were eBayed. Nah, dude, I just let my little brother play my Shaman. I'll get you that buff really quick. What'd you say it was again? Sao? I don't have any buff named Sao. LOL, Roman. That's the dream. You know it, Wombat. Some things never change. Paladin 2, Electric Boogaloo. Dude, I put a lot of thought into race before I started this one. Basically, I pulled up what I considered the valuable stats on each Paladin race, added them up to see what like the total number was, and Dwarf came out on top. The stats that I measured were strength, stamina, wisdom, and charisma. And Dwarf just won. And honestly, like, we could weigh charisma probably a little bit lower, in which case the Dwarf would win even more. I know some of you guys are looking at my stats right now and you're saying, but Zaide, you only have 70 agility. What are you doing? I took that into account too. My natural gear progression for this character is going to get me 5 agility. It's going to get me 5 agility very soon. And I figured negative AC value for the first 20 levels, not a big deal. We'll make up for it in the levels that matter. And I will save myself 5 attribute points to be better spent on like wisdom, which will be more important in the end game. So that's why my agility is 70. And as long as I don't die before level 20, it will have been worth it. At level 20, we're going to get Kern Toy, Gorilla Hide Mask, and boom, we'll be at 76, I want to say. Right. That Dwarf strength. The strength is better, the stamina is better, the wisdom is better than every other race, with the wisdom exception on the high elf. You know what I mean? Charisma is bad. No way around it. The charisma sucks. But so far, it hasn't been like a huge impact. We lulled our way all the way to the Undead Jester spawn in Kern's without a single failed lull. Not even a failed lull, never mind a critical fail. Honestly, I didn't even think about the sneak racial with the halfling. Mr. Jones, I think that could have been useful too. Dwarf came out ahead of human by like 3 or 4 points. It was actually close, closer than I expected. But then the dwarf has other benefits that made it worth it. Oh god, I'm gonna accidentally sunline Bull Smasher, watch. The big benefit right here being Bull Smasher and Bloodforged Helmet. These were the two tipping points on going human versus dwarf. Easy quest to do at low levels. Look at the ratio on this thing. So much better than the Shining Star of Light that the human would have to do. The only advantage that human really has would be getting the Minotaur Ribcage. But Minotaur Ribcage is really not that much better than the Small Scarab BP. Oh, humans can wear a Purity Belt too. Yeah, also barrel roll. Roman, yeah, I'm definitely sticking to in-air content. I'm not doing anything outside of Classic and Kunark. Like maybe someone could convince me to do Crystal Caverns, but probably not. But yeah, I think really the only thing we'll even do in Kunark is Kern's Tower to get Nixor Berserker Club. We're gonna run this thing right back to Lower Guck, and I'm gonna kill those mobs past the safe hall. I'm gonna exact my revenge. Dude, I can't do Split Paw on Mangler, unfortunately. It's been revamped here. Of course, this Great Con Null had to add. Yeah, so I won't be able to do the Gem Inlaid Gauntlets quest. Or I might be able to do it, but it's like super risky because I'd be farming the mobs outside of Split Paw, and like at any moment the level like 47 Ishvamal could just roll over and smoke me. Dude, Mr. Jones, remember on Aradune, and probably on Rizlona right now, the mobs outside of Paw were broken. Like they didn't have Split Paw Gnolls spawning at the spires outside of Paw. I don't know if they fixed that here for the later era servers, but if they didn't, then I mean, like, it's a wrap for that. Dude, I might have to pull this to the guards like right now. I got mana. I could get an Old Slayer. Yeah, but they only have like the high level named mobs spawning outside, not like the trash that I could actually farm. There, I mean, let's be totally like straight up honest, right? There is a 0% chance that I will ever be able to kill the Ishvamal on this character, even at level 50. The Ishvamal will wreck me. Yeah, I was thinking about doing Forest Loops, but dude, remember how long we farmed Forest Loops on my Beast Lord? I don't think we ever got a single Forest Loop. Like, I did like 5 levels of just killing the giants, and I never got a Forest Loop. And it was a lot easier to do as a Beast Lord with, you know, just basically sending my pet in. As Paladin, it would be a long, slow, painful experience. I mean, it's kind of the name of the game with SSF though, right? Like, you do those camps because it's the difference between wasting 20 days of your life or making it to 50. I think I can quest the Gulbane at 30. The biggest downside right now to the Dwarf run has been Bull Smasher not being a magic weapon, which meant I couldn't farm Wisps, which basically took Bandit Armor off the table. I do have Cure Disease, but I'm just like too lazy to use it. Most of the spells that are disease-based that are hitting me right now go away really quickly. And every other mob is casting them on me. And that's just like a 30-second one. Tree Weave, that would be dope. Can Dwarf wear Tree Weave though? Of course, Googling Tree Weave would not result in the Everquest Tree Weave. Race, all except for Dwarf. Sad. Dwarf Halfling Gnome. That 25 AC, 10 Strength. Roman, we are in High Hold Pass. I think the Bull Smasher is like as good as the PGT though, so there's no point in really focusing on getting a PGT. The IBC XR Berserker Club we're gonna get in like 2 to 3 levels. Now that's gonna be a huge upgrade. LOL Tower Frozen Shadow. Dude, I've never leveled up in TOFS, so I'd probably get wrecked just because I'd be a scrub there. Oh yeah, PGT would be good as a magic weapon, that's for sure. That's what I did on my human pally. I came here, I went from the Shining Star of Light to the PGT. The problem is by the time you get the PGT, you've got the Deepwater Harpoon, so you're almost always two-handing. The PGT procs like once in a blue moon. It basically, if it procs, it means you messed up anyway, because ideally, I want a Bandolier at just the right moment so I bash and I do not waste a swing on my worst ratio one-handed weapon. But the XR Berserker Club might be such a good ratio that it's better than the Deepwater Harpoon. Somebody in chat should do the math for me, but I think it actually could be worth just going straight one-handed and wielding the XR Berserker Club until we get the Ghoulbane. Ghoulbane is pretty much the final weapon of this run. Yeah, it's a 718. Here's another question. Fleeting Fury. I have a suspicion that Fleeting Fury does not stack with Yelp. Which means when I get like Yelp 2, I mean, it might be better. It's probably strictly better than Yelp 1, but Yelp 2 might be better than Fleeting Fury. Harpoon, yeah, let's see. Harpoon is 1840, I want to say. Yelp 2 should override it. So what's the verdict? We think the IBC better pure swing DPS than the Deepwater Harpoon? Harpoon is a better ratio still? Dang. The club brings a lot more to the table in terms of stats, like 4 strength, 4 wisdom, and then the proc, of course. The 5 stamina on the Harpoon basically means nothing to me. Let's see how this impacts my max health. 619, 612, yeah. This is why we don't put points in stamina. 5 stamina, 7 HP. No thanks. Yeah, remember when you used to be able to see your damage bonus here? The other thing is, if I have the IBC equipped, I can have a shield equipped all the time, which means shield AC, which means taking less damage, which means either 10 magic resist or 9 strength, depending on which shield I run. Oh, okay, once I hit 20, I'll be able to see the damage bonus appear. Whoa, y'all been Fleeting Fury will stack? That's wild. Yeah, and remember, shield AC ignores the soft cap, though. I don't know if this character will really hit a soft cap. We might. I mean, it might be that easy to hit soft cap that even SSF will hit it. But shield AC, long story short, is better than non-shield AC. Right. Oh, duh. Pulled this too close. I'm going to get bronze, for sure, but I'm saying the shield AC, like 5 AC on your shield, is better than 5 AC on your breastplate. They don't function exactly the same. I do plan to get small bronze, though. Right, yeah. Yeah, I mean, you know, my DPS sucks anyway. Unless I'm fighting undead. And if I'm fighting undead, I'm going to be using a Ghoulbane by level 30. LOL. 75 AC. It's so disgusting. That's the shield that just looks like a round shield, right? Like that basic wooden shield graphic. Blew my Bane Strike on the first swing on this null. You know what, I can let the homie over here just assist me the whole fight. What level is this guy? 5. I'm sure he'll do like a whole 10 damage. It is really good. Yeah, Dozen Card Loot is such a headache. It's like they were like, hey, remember when we used to do Plane of Sky Loot? That was fun. Let's do that again. It's not quite so bad, but it's up there. Plane of Sky Loot is just so terrible. If you're an officer in a guild and you're like, I need to have like 3 characters just to loot garbage from Plane of Sky that we'll never use. How long does it take you guys to clear NCOV, Mr. Jones? Do you do it all in one day, or do you split it up? Yeah, focus effects are gonna be sick. See, can't you just clear the whole zone one time except for one Lord Lady and, you know, Volak, and then basically like on a separate night you do like 2-3 Volak splits instead? That way you don't have to do the grueling full TOV clear with a split, that is. Yeah, half the dragons in TOV have such a small loot table, and it's like, it's good. It's definitely good, but after like the first 2 weeks, you know what I mean? It's just, you don't need it that bad to waste an extra couple hours on it. Big Zaide, looking out for my physical health. 18 monk boxes, yeah. I mean, they must just clear through crap really quickly, huh? Stand up. I should get one of those standing desks. Just pull it up. We're back. Isn't there a Volak exploit still? Or did they patch that? Where you could get like multiple Volaks per week? I remember that was a thing on Agnar. Beyond just like this, you know, the split stuff. I have a standing desk at work. It is really awesome. You just have to buy something soft to stand on for your feet, like a rubber mat. Man, I don't know if I remember the exact mechanics of it, Mr. Jones. Faceless actually didn't do it because between open world pretty much uncontested open world Vulak and the instance Vulak. We just had, we had enough. We didn't really feel compelled to do it, but I know the instance only guilds often did it. There was some kind of cheese where you could spawn a second Vulak. Me and Vicious are besties. I don't have an extremely negative view of the player named Vicious, Draylon. LOL. Yeah, I can't speak to what he thinks of me. But I'm more or less neutral on him. You found what I'm talking about, Mr. Jones? Right, yeah. I regard him indifferently. Maybe that was it? That's crazy. There have been a few different weird things with TOV. Do you guys remember, like, on Finny, there were guilds that couldn't actually clear all of TOV? They struggled with, like, VM or one of the other dragons. So what they could do, though, was the guardians, the guardian drakes next to the dragons were linked in the lockouts. So you just kill, like, one of their guards. It gives you the lockout for the dragon. Then you come back the next day. You don't have to clear the dragon that you were literally unable to kill. And then for a long time, TOV didn't even spawn VM. I think that was actually on Agnar. On Agnar, no guild in Valius got a VM kill except for Faceless because he didn't spawn in DZs on Agnar for some reason. Oh! Don't stream snipe me, dudes. You guys see what I see. Alright, you out of here, Zyathan? Oh, it's all good, Draylon. I don't mind at all. This guy had to hit me with the tainted breath. And he's nuking me. Come on. Any day now, guards. Green Jade Broadsword, attainable in SSF. Yes, I would say yes. They drop from undead mobs in City of Mist that can be as low as level 36. I mean, it's rare, but I would say yes, you could get it. But in those those higher levels, closer to 50, we're really, really focused on undead mobs, and the question becomes, is this going to be better than a Ghoulbane with the proc? Yeah, most Faceless guys are alright. Not all of us, though. Ooh, I'm encumbered. I was almost like, let's just delete this rusty Warhammer. No, Mr. Jones. What more could there be? You know what I mean? I feel like I solved that You can't stop someone from like talking or lying, you know what I mean? But you can expose them. I think I did that sufficiently. Beyond that, there's no reason to get bent out of shape over stuff. Yeah, so definitely Ghoulbane be better than Slaz. And attainable at an earlier level through the quest. Did I ever talk to you, Draylon? For some reason, Imari is like a familiar name to me. God, stupid shaman. Okay. Don't dot me. Thank you. Yeah, but have you seen the pathing in City of Mist, dude? I'm not gonna let those mobs hit me. How can I scam this Grenix Mucktail kill? Nice. 15 minutes I could lay on Handsome. I don't think I can kill him. I don't want to wait 15 minutes. We'll give it a shot, but the odds seem bad. I need to pull this guy solo down here. But we might have this stupid spawn right here soon, which will add. Well, this will actually help us out. LOL, yeah, just die. That'll work. Alright, he's lulled. Oh, wow, that was a brief lull. Relax, dude. Right, is this guy? This is clear, okay. For the glory of Zek. Here we go. What do we think, chat? Are we gonna get this kill or no? Oh, he procced. These procs are what's gonna make it a big issue. No LOH up. Oof, that double 40. I need this guy to take some damage. He's absorbing a lot of my DPS with his stupid buff. I don't have root yet. That's the worst part. With LOH, it would be like a definite win. Let's get this bash in. Bash. Heal. Second heal. Look at me being a baddie playing with the mouse. gonna abandon it pretty soon here. I think that's it for heals. Insufficient mana for a heal. Oh! Oh my god, the brawler's gonna kill me. Guards, please. I'm begging you. Whew. A little bit close, a little bit close. Worst ratio. Yeah, so the thing there was we just needed to make sure we did 51%. Seeing the ratio like side by side of the PGT and in the Bull Smasher just kind of like highlights how crazy good the Bull Smasher is for a weapon that you can literally get at level 4 solo. And if you're lucky, you could get it in like 10 minutes. All right, folks, that was a good one. That's probably the highlight of the day for us. With that said, I'll be back on Friday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. At that point, we'll probably be going into Kerns. So look forward to that, I hope. Thanks for coming out. If you enjoyed this solo self-found hardcore EverQuest run, we will be shooting all the way for 50. Hopefully by the end of the year, we'll see. Every Monday, every Friday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Hit me with a follow, come back, check it out. Hope you enjoyed it. Glad to have you guys here. And catch you next time.